episode 112 of VV Gaming's Losers Bracket podcast. Been a pretty awesome weekend. The fighting game arena was out of this world for MLG. Got a ton of great news. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was announced today, the trailer. Interesting. We'll be sure to talk about that a little bit. League of Legends, the spectator mode, the full version was released today as well. That thing is absolutely incredible. I've got my co-host, as always, with me, Lord Jareth, Kurt Key Hunt Carter right below me from Check 6. How you guys doing this week? Kurt, let's start off with you. What's going on, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. I'm really tired, not going to lie. So if I sound a little drowsy, I'm sorry. I apologize. Shoot me next week. We are doing live calls for the first time this week. I'm really excited about that. Tell everyone, and their mothers that we are taking live calls. Ask me the hard-hitting questions. I will try to answer them as non-stupid as possible.
That's tough. Wait, what? Jerry, how are you doing, sir?
That's really mean of you. I would normally be the one to say something mean or not.
Hey, you're rubbing off on me. I can't help it.
I know. I flake off like that. You know what it is this week that really, I'm glad Black Ops is announced. That's good. We got a date for that. But I can't get over this League of Legends spectator mode. I'm pretty sure this kind of changes everything. So I don't know if people are paying attention to it or not. Like, they really understand, like, what this sort of means. But there is a lot of really important tools in this League of Legends spectator mode. In fact, I think it's so important that I kind of feel pew-pewy about StarCraft even. I'm like, you know what? Blizzard has some catching up to do. I think Riot just set the bar. But we'll talk about that more later. So I'm doing good this week. Thanks for asking. Looking forward to the show tonight.
Definitely. CDjr, our player from VVV Gaming that actually ended up winning the Mortal Kombat Arena this past weekend, will be joining us a little later on. He actually just told me via text message he's finishing up at the gym, and then he will be hopping on to join us. So that's coming up a little bit later on in the show. But first things first, let's talk about a little bit of news, shall we? Let's talk about Black Ops 2 first thing, because the League of Legends is going to be a big discussion. There was a big trailer for Black Ops 2 that just hit the internet. It was just recently. And I got to be honest, I don't know exactly how I'm feeling about this, because there seemed like a lot of focus on vehicles, right? There's even like a horseback section. It seemed almost like Call of Duty near future combat. I don't know. Jerry, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Kurt, I don't know. Have you seen the trailer yet as well?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I haven't ever watched all of it yet. I had to pause it and do some other things. But in the end, all I can say is meh. I'm kind of with Jerry here. It's just recycled content over and over and over again. So I will defer to him.
Jerry, what are your thoughts?
I felt like this is their signal that they want to more directly compete with Battlefield. That's how I felt about it, right? Because one thing Call of Duty's historically missed, right, is the sort of vehicle content. And now all of a sudden we have that focus included. So, again, this is a guess, but it feels to me like they are more directly going after EA and Battlefield and that sort of thing. So that's how I saw it. And whether or not that's going to translate at all well for competitive play, to be honest, I really don't know. I guess we'll wait and see. I'm pretty skeptical that may not be the way I'd want to do it, right? I'm not so sure that they ever needed to do that, but hey, there's a market out there. Battlefield is being played a lot, at least if you look at Major Nelson's blog for Xbox 360. I definitely see Battlefield up there, so it's being played. And my guess is that is what Call of Duty is doing next, is trying to go more directly at that Battlefield audience by adding vehicles.
That would make sense. I don't know. For the competitive side of things, vehicles have never really been that big a thing, at least in the titles we've seen at, say, like an MLG. Halo, we don't see the vehicles there. Although Halo, I suppose, is another topic we better touch on, since that is officially not going to be in person at MLG Anaheim. News breaking this week that there will be a portion of Halo added to the spring portion of this year, but they'll only be online. Halo fans on the MLG site have really been up in arms about this, but I honestly see it as a good thing for MLG because it wasn't bringing the stream numbers. Kurt, we talk about this pretty much at least once every couple weeks. Now that it's official that Halo will not be in person live at this MLG event, what do you think? Is this a good decision from MLG?
I suppose I think it was a necessary decision, not necessarily maybe a good one. I mean, I can't really comment on whether it was a good one or not, but what I can say is I think it's necessary. I do feel bad for the Halo community. They kind of came out in full force for Columbus, and they realized that in the end it still didn't matter. You know? But I would like to see MLG continue to do something. I know they said they're going to do this online thing. Hopefully that's something that they can continue to sort of grow the scene while not spending a ton of money on it. And then every once in a while they'll do an event or something like that, and maybe get a little more stable when I guess the next Halo comes out. That's what I can hope, because in the end, I think that's really the big thing that people need to realize is that I would like to see MLG do more, is grow some of that online scene a little more and sort of build it up to where they can start doing some of these events on their own, you know? Mm-hmm. While MLG is, of course, not doing them. Because in the end, if MLG comes into a game, they're going to be one of the biggest events. I mean, that's no hands down. So, like, there's really no competition for them in that sense, you know?
Sure. Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really never thought it was realistic that Halo was going to be at Anaheim. I mean, why would you put a game that's kind of already been on the ropes? You really would be setting it up for failure. I mean, California as a market has always had the lowest attendance for Halo. So why would we think that it's a good idea to put Halo on in a position where they're not set up for success? I mean, honestly, I've said this before, and I know it upsets people, but we'll just wait till Halo 4. I mean, unless you try to slip it in at Rally or something. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, the West Coast is not a good investment for MLG. It never gets the numbers that other places do. I don't think it has anything to do with the turnout at Columbus. I just think that there are way bigger fish and much lower hanging fruit for MLG to grasp at to get a success. Halo's just not it. So I'm not really surprised. I'm really actually surprised people are upset. I think it would be silly for MLG to put it in Anaheim, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really tough for the Halo community. I think I hate to use the word entitled, but it's kind of like the Halo community hasn't ever seen an MLG without Halo, and they feel like, hey, this is the title that brought it here, you know. And it's really funny to see some of these kids on the site. And you know what? I shouldn't even use the term kids, because I bet a lot of these people are not younger as well. But if you go on the MLG forums, the absolute scathing feeling you get from these posts is actually quite daunting. And I feel almost a little bit, I guess, on edge for like Adam and Sundance and them for having to deal with this right now. I really hope that we can see Halo come back in the future with Halo 4 release later this year. I want to know, I mean, are all those Xboxes not going to be in use at Anaheim? Because they have a lot of equipment that's going to be, you know, just sitting in a storage container if that's the case. So
yeah, but you know what? To be fair, though, they're getting a whole bunch of computers to do what with? Let's look at what's going on. We've got League of Legends added, right? We've got all this fake for League of Legends. We've got Heart of the Swarm that we all get to play, right? Look at. Mm-hmm. And then has anybody heard the sort of little dirty rumor that with Kepsa and everything, we might have a Heart of the Swarm tournament at Anaheim? Has anybody heard that rumor?
I had not heard that rumor.
I don't think it's going to be a
Uh-oh.
I think we lost him.
I think we lost Kurt as well. He was about to leak something that he wasn't supposed to, and we actually had some MLG assassins run on in his house and take him out. Oh
So
no.
with that being said, I mean, I don't know if they. I think we might see some Brood War players in Anaheim. I think we might see
Hmm.
sort of the unification of the Korean scene to StarCraft 2. With all of that going on, I have to admit I'm kind of hard pressed going, yeah, they're going to miss a console title on a 360. I'm just not seeing it. I
Yeah.
know all, to be honest. I just don't see that being a big miss. So, I mean, that just might be me, but Kurt, you're back now, right?
Uh-oh, is he? Maybe he's trying. Look
I
at
think
him.
he's trying, definitely
He's
trying.
flopping around like a fish on board a deck. Look at him. It's just
Uh,
it's sad for him. But yeah, to add to what you were saying, Jerry, actually a lot of people have been talking about the Brood War players that are supposedly rumored to be coming over to America for Anaheim. There's been articles on Reddit about Flash practicing StarCraft 2, getting ready. Flash, of course, one of the greatest Brood War players of all time. So, I mean, if that's the case, well, I think we'll see at least a show match. Maybe not a tournament, but at least a show match. I mean, why else? People are going to play the single player, yeah. People are going to check out the new units, but how else can they build hype, showing off what's in store for when the game comes out later this year? So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of computers there. There's going to be a lot of floor space taken up by this. Adam tweeted that, 200,000 square feet, and they're actually thinking that this might be the first event to ever sell out spectator pass wise, which is kind of impressive considering this is at least double the floor size of any event they've ever held in the past. So, who knows? Maybe there won't even be room to put Xboxes. You bring up a good point. So, while we're waiting for Kurt to come back, we actually did have, you had mentioned the 3 announcements last week. We had Halo not going to be on the circuit. We had Heart of the Swarm. The other big one is League of Legends will be at Anaheim. Adam tweeted a picture of a 5-person soundproof booth. So he, I'm assuming from when he was on the show before, was talking about how the title they were announcing was going to be displayed in a way that it had never been done before. I'm assuming that means that there's going to be commentary played over the announcements system in the venue with soundproof booths for the players. Is this a step in the right direction? I think it is. But Jerry, I'd love your thoughts.
well, yeah, I mean, this is what League of Legends needs, right? I mean, this is how big League of Legends is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that there's any. I don't think there's any at all doubt that we are in this sort of moment where everything is going to shift, right? This is a new era of esports. Everyone is going to StarCraft 2, right? Kespa on GameNet, all the Korean Brood War professionals, everybody's GOM TV. Everybody's trying to sort of come out on this on their sort of own thing. But the truth of the matter here right now is that if you are a console player, you should be looking at fighting games. If you are on the PC, I don't care if even StarCraft 2 Unified, I'm very much looking at League of Legends being pretty much the predominant title. And that's just, by a little bit. That's not saying that StarCraft 2 is shrinking or that StarCraft 2 is going away. I just think League of Legends has fundamentally changed the game, and the potential for them to get new recruits, new people interested in the title, what's going on, I think League of Legends is the game. So this 5-person soundproof booth not only means that the spectator experience for League of Legends will be unlike any spectator experience elsewhere, I also think that booth can probably be used for other things. And if it works well, who knows? A Guild Wars 2, maybe a Halo, maybe a Black Ops 2. I'm a huge fan of isolating the players from the audience so that the audience can actually hear the commentators, especially for games as complex as StarCraft 2 and League of Legends. So again, they're just doing all the right things. It's hard to knock that.
Yep. 2 things I want to point out from what you just said. One, Adam hinted at a possible StarCraft 2 team league on Twitter last week, where he had asked for feedback on how the people who watch MLG StarCraft would like to see that run. So, I mean, could soundproof booths be like that where all the team is in there at once? So, possibly they could talk to each other between matches, things like that. I don't know. But, I mean, that's a possibility. And 2, on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, it was announced that fighting game players, there's actually going to be less room between where people are sitting and where the players will be, so it'll give more of the typical fighting game community feel at the event. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how commentary is going to be like that, because it's kind of hard to give away strategies over commentary for a fighting game unless they're pointing out something the players should do. Which, I guess, speaking of that, we should go into a little bit of the fighting game arena as we're waiting for CDjr to join us, talk a little bit about Soul Calibur, what we thought of the commentators, and the overall experience of us watching from home. Jerry, I heard that you were watching in Mumble with some of our community members. I was actually with a group of friends. We had a big fighting game arena get together where we basically were talking about the titles and watched the event and saw it as it went down. But what'd you think? I mean, for the first time they've ever done a fighting game arena like this, it seemed to go off pretty smooth, at least in my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the commentators, the display. How did you enjoy the fighting game arena?
Okay, so let's start out with I watched pretty much everything. The actual Jerry, I was deeply entertained. I love Mortal Kombat. I love Soul Calibur 5. And matter of fact, me, Doomhammer, Jordan, our VP, as well as our League of Legends manager, we kind of ran to Target and picked up Soul Calibur 5 just so we could play Soul Calibur 5. And not so much that we don't love Mortal Kombat. Obviously, we have two of the best Mortal Kombat players, and CDjr is going to come on the show, but we really wanted to learn more about Soul Calibur 5. So it was inspirational. I'll say that. One thing I found really odd, one thing that I kind of really didn't get, and this is something that really reinforced something about the differences in communities. I think we can all agree that Day 9 is kind of nerdy. And people appreciate Day 9's nerdiness. But Juicebox Abel got a lot of flack for being nerdy as a commentator, and I noticed that he asked sort of on Twitter, do you guys think it's okay that I'm a nerd? And I think a lot of people in Mumble that I knew thought it was very entertaining. But then again, I mean, we are VVV Gaming. I hate using our Mumble as an example of like all gamers. I mean, if you think about it, only 13 to 14% of people who even apply to VVV get in. So obviously we're talking about a higher caliber person. But to those of us who really love esports, that are sort of core nerds ourselves, I thought Juicebox Abel did a great job. Some people complained that technically he wasn't sort of spot on. But, I mean, that part is very easily adjusted. You know, if anybody felt that Juicebox Abel didn't do a great job technically, well, then tell him to play more Mortal Kombat 9, I guess. Right. But the rest I really liked. I found that interesting as well. So,
there were a couple things that I saw production-wise, which, I mean, it was their first time doing something like this, so I can't really give them too much flack because it will smooth out next time. Things like taking a little while for the overlay to pop up over the screen where it just seemed kind of blank. It was just the videos, the actual video game itself. But honestly, I'm nitpicking if I go into that. The only thing I really think was a little bit of a detractor, and maybe it's only I that noticed this because I'm part of EVV, but it seemed kind of odd when the commentators were actually rooting for specific players. You know, and I've heard quite a bit of feedback on Twitter, even from people that aren't a part of EVV, when they said, oh, well, I don't know how professional that is to be saying, oh, man, I really hope he wins this match. Do you think that that was okay, Jerry? Or is that something that they should possibly work on for the future to actually have a little bit more of an unbiased commentary?
They should be unbiased. I don't think anybody can argue that it's okay for a commentator to tell you the way they did. Like, you can be a commentator and you can say, you can commentate a game, and then what you should do, right? Commentators ask other commentators. You might say, all right, Juicebox Abel, you got to pick one player. Who would you pick? And you struggle and you struggle and you struggle and you say, oh, you know, I went to college in Detroit, and so I'm going to go for Detroit Ballin'. Right? That's fine. That's what professional sportscasters do. But what they did that they shouldn't have done is, I think Juicebox Abel was like, oh, I really want, you know, so-and-so to win. And it's like, you know, that's a refinement. That's a technique. That's just tweaking him a little bit and saying, look, Juicebox, that wasn't the best way to deliver that. A better way to deliver that is you know, have Brutus set you up, have him ask the question, then you can, you know, sort of show your preferences. So, I mean, I think it's good we've got all these eyes on it who want it to be more professional. That's fantastic. It didn't bother me that much. It bothered me less than it bothered other people. because I do feel that CDjr is that good, and it's okay to root for the underdog. And CDjr is certainly not the underdog. Not that it wasn't a phenomenal finish in a close match, but yeah, it didn't bother me so much. Not personally, but if we're going to be accurate and fair, and I'm going to talk straight about it, they definitely could have done a better job of not being so obvious and overt about their player preferences.
Right, yeah. Detroit Ballin, obviously from Juicebox's state. He was the, I believe, only player in the top 8 that wasn't from New York, if I remember correctly. But Detroit did seem to, I mean, I gotta be honest, I gotta give him props. That was absolutely an incredible match, and we'll definitely go more in detail into this as soon as CDjr does join us. But oh my God, I was with actually 2 of my good friends in the room watching this on the TV. I had bought the HD pass on my account so that we could throw it up on the TV, put it in 720p, and watch it from across the room. And we had started watching. We were laying back on the sofas watching, and as the match started, we stood up because CDjr was losing. He was behind, and wham, punch, done. Ties it back up. We ended up right next to the TV screen. Like, what an incredible final. I wish I could go more in depth, but just absolutely insane. I have to give props to both players that were there in that final. And the commentators really did do a good job. It's just refining at this point now. Tom Brady, I believe, will be actually at Anaheim to commentate from what I read online, unless something's changed, and he really did a good job. He impressed me. So, and as long as Juicebox continues to refine just a little bit, I think that he'll still be one of those names that we'll grow to know and love in the MLG commentary world. So, if you had any sort of advice to them, Jerry, is there something that you'd be able to say to both like Tom Brady, Juicebox for their commentary for Anaheim and beyond?
I mean, I thought, this is tough because I really like Brutus. I like him as an enthusiast. He brings great knowledge to the game. There was something positive about Tom Brady and Juicebox Abel's chemistry where Juicebox sort of let Tom do a lot of talking on the technical end, and Juicebox really provided a lot of that color commentary, sort of straight caster thing. All 3 of them were good. Don't be overt about your player favorites. Always tell more of the history about why matches are important. They did some of that really well. I think in some matches I would have liked to learn more. Tell me why it's important. Everything that you do, there should be a constant struggle. Tell me why it's important. Tell me why it's important. Right? I have a lot of choices. With something that I believe in esports. Most people really believe not everybody cares about it as much as you do. Tell them why it's important. So that would be my only, real commentary outside what I already said. But I mean, overall, I was entertained. Like I said, we bought Soul Calibur 5 and we've been playing it for the past couple nights, and that's not something that we would have done if it wasn't for the fighting game arena.
Very cool. Well, since we're going to be talking a little bit more fighting game arena in just a little bit, you said let's tell them why it's important. Let's get to the big news. League of Legends. Huge patch today, right? The new spectator mode, the full version of the spectator mode has officially been released. And then on top of that, we've also got news of the Season 2 World Championship. This is 2 huge pieces of news, and we'll get into both of these very shortly. But man, the spectator mode, for those of you that might be watching that haven't seen this yet, what you will be able to do with this new mode in League of Legends is right-click someone's name, join their game so that you can actually watch it 3 minutes on delay right from the game client itself. So you'll be able to hop in, see what's going on, spectate your favorite players when they're playing. In fact, there's actually a show match tonight, I believe, between, I want to say it's Solo Mid and, is it Epic, I want to say? But on top of this, you can actually there's a mode that will hop around the camera automatically to the parts of the map that have the most action going on. So you can even sit back, you don't even have to move the mouse. You can watch it as the story unfolds in the game. On top of this...
Yeah, that part there is very similar to those who've watched Dota. Dota does have that feature already in its beta, but continue.
Mm-hmm. And on top of this, you actually can hit spacebar to hop around from different characters to different fights at any time. And you can click on a champion if you want to specifically follow them. So let's say Jerry is really good at League of Legends, and I am a huge fan of Jerry's, and I want to follow him in his match, I can actually click and watch as his champion is moving around the map, watch his skills so that maybe I can pick up some of his pointers and get better. There's so much going on here. This spectator mode is probably going to be something that every other game is going to need to strive to at least meet or exceed in the future. Jerry, is this going to change the game? Is this going to change the way we spectate?
Of course it has. Of course it has. I mean, as soon as I can add slow motion and rewind features to spectator match, I can actually have real commentary.
That's not
right.
yeah.
I can do that. I can pretend to be John Madden. I can pretend to be, some of the great casters because I'm able to slow down what's happening, talk about the timing, talk about when an individual should have communicated something. I can analyze when players are late, what's going on a lot better. It does change the game. There's a reason every sport has slow motion replay. Maybe not for the refs, but certainly for the audience who's watching the game. So, again, I can't imagine why anyone would not see League of Legends now as having a huge competitive advantage. And look, I'm just going to come out and say it. It's the most important title we have. I mean, I really mean this. I love StarCraft. We've invested in StarCraft. Nothing against StarCraft. So any StarCraft fans out there who are going to pew-pew shit, I'm disinterested. I don't care. Being honest with you. League of Legends is a team game. Team games, to me, always more dynamic, more interesting, more characters, more drama, more story. Add to that, we finally have a tool to make a caster a legitimate caster. I don't know. Now, by the way, add a $5 million season to that.
Amen.
Right? Add a $5 million season to that. Well, Riot's doing everything right? There's smart guys at Riot. They're doing everything right. To be honest, I really do believe it's probably, whether anybody likes to hear this or not, I think it's the most important esports title out there right now today, with StarCraft a very, 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 very close second.
Let me add something absolutely huge into this. There is a really great video that got released today about the World Championship for Season 2. And in it, they actually, in the article that they had the video put in, there was an infographic that they released, right? Total unique viewers via live stream for League of Legends. If you think that StarCraft 2 is the king of the mountain, this might change your mind right here. Right now, for total unique viewers, the past 3 major events, IEM Kiev, IEM World Finals in Hanover, and the IPL Las Vegas, unique viewers, 2.28 million, 2.2 million, and 2.16 million. That's unique viewers per event. That is absolutely insane. The average Major League Baseball game in this infographic during the 2011 season had 1.44 million unique viewers. That is incredible to say that. And yes, you could say, oh, well, it's going over a longer period of time so more people can tune into one event, so it doesn't really correlate. No.
Here's the thing.
It's still
Here's
huge.
the thing. Here's the thing. And I see this infographic as completely different than everybody else does. That is, Riot showed me how much money they lost in Season 1. That's the story of Riot and all their partners. Look at all these streams that we couldn't put advertising in front of. Look at all these numbers. So, great, but I'm not impressed, right? Because you could fucking stream donkeys eating and you would have probably gotten as much money as you did out of this just because, again, you can't run any commercials. You can't. So, Riot, being smart, I think they're going to get bigger numbers than they did in Season 1. And they're going to start making a lot of advertising dollars on this. And so are their partners. So, again, my only hope is that Blizzard catches up because you're behind the ball now.
Yeah. The ability to take a game, pause it, rewind it, show a part again, that's incredible. And to the people that are wondering, hey, well, what if I go and spectate this game and then call up my friend who's playing and tell him where the other people are? That's not the way it's going to work. Everything is running on a 3-minute delay. And with the fact that a lot of the timers are even 3 minutes in the game, you won't be able to tell anybody any sort of information if you're hopping into spectate. So it's really good because I think this is going to foster a really good environment for new casters to be up and coming, new shoutcasters. Heck, I was in a Skype call earlier today with some of my friends as they were taking a look at the new spectator mode, and they were just laughing, going, "Oh my gosh, I can commentate over this," and they were joking around at it. But the thing is, if this is the case, and to be fair, all these friends of mine are all casual players. None of them play competitively for any team or anything like that. But if even in the casual mind frame, they're instinctively doing that, that's a good sign. That's a really good sign, because that's fostering a culture of both education, because they're going to learn more info by doing that, by watching, by learning, and then also teaching, because they're going to be able to tell people about this and say, "Oh, hey, check this out." So I feel like Riot's doing everything right. This is going to really, really step up the world of esports, and I can't be more excited about it. A couple of the dates, just so you guys know, we've got different qualifiers per region around the world, starting, I believe, in Cologne, Germany at Gamescom later this year. From there, heading on over to Seattle, Washington.
It's actually, they start out in China, remember. They start out at the
That's right.
China Joy in July, and then
Yep.
they head west from there. So, yeah.
Yep. Then we have Cologne, Germany at Gamescom, PAX Prime, Seattle later this year, and then both Singapore and Seoul, South Korea, Taipei, Taiwan, with the World Championships being held for Season 2 in Los Angeles, California. And that's going to be later October 13th of this year. That's going to be pretty incredible. Hey, we have a League of Legends team. You think they could possibly start practicing for it now? Because, man, I'd love to cheer them on for this. We've got, I think it's 12 teams that are going to end up making it to the finals. So, anywho, that means that we've got a lot of League of Legends to look forward to later this year.
Yeah, I think it's, again, I don't know. This is one of those where I wish the haters would sort of come out and tell me why League of Legends is not important. Mm-hmm. If you haven't watched the videos on Season 2, and even to some degree, more importantly, the videos on the spectator mode, or even worse, you don't own League of Legends, which is a free game, and you haven't downloaded and played with the, spectator mode, which you should, I highly, highly recommend it, because I do think it changes everything. All right, so we beat that horse to death. I don't want to keep touting League of Legends, but I think it's really important.
One more stat, because I read this earlier. There's over 100 million active League of Legends accounts. Just throwing that out there. That's an insane number. So, CDjr just texted me. He said he'll be home in approximately 20 minutes to hop on and join us. So we're going to be talking some fighting game news from the arena, asking him about what his thoughts were. We definitely want to have you guys ask us questions for him as well. Make sure you're tweeting us at VVParadise, at Lord Jareth on Twitter. We're also going to be opening up the phone lines rather shortly as well, after we talk with CDjr a little bit, so that we can get you guys in here and have you guys join us for the first time ever. The way that we're going to do that, so that you guys can get ready for that in the little bit of time we're waiting for CDjr. If you don't have Skype, get it. Free. All right? My Skype name is at VVVParadise. Well, listen to me. I'm talking like it's Twitter. My Skype name is strictly VVVParadise. When the time comes when we open up the phone lines, you'll just shoot us a call, and I will actually be able to bring you right on in. You can ask us any questions, any sort of comments that you might have. If you just want to throw in something about all the topics that we've talked about tonight, that'll be completely up to you. The floor will be yours, and after each question, comment, any sort of feedback that you might bring up to us, we'll discuss it, and then we'll go on to the next caller. We'll take a couple calls, and then we'll see how it goes, because if this becomes something that people enjoy, we'll do it a little bit more often. Something we've never really tried before. So.
And since we've got a little bit of time, and for those who want to know, Kurt's mic is out, so Kurt's not going to be coming back. That sound you heard was Kurt's mic dying. So we told him, don't worry about it. Get yourself another mic. I'm sure he'll be back next week. So yeah, sadly, Kurt from Check 6 will not be returning because of his microphone problem. I want to talk about a couple things very near and dear to VV Gaming.
Sure.
So I'll do that real quick. Sort of the big three, as I call them. One, For those who don't know, our donation drive has begun. And today, those who may want to ask, looks like we've had a good first day. We really set a goal for our donation drive for $3,000. More so to, we're obviously sending a lot of players and teams to Anaheim. We'll have League of Legends, we'll have our Fight Club, we'll have our StarCraft players. So, in that vein, we sort of decided then we better reach out, we better get some donations, get the community behind it. It's also a way for us to launch our jerseys, which were coming out. So day one, we're $912 into 3,000, so we're about a third of the way there. So thank you, the VV community, for coming out right away on day one strong. That's a really good sign. I always appreciate that, very much so. We do this for you, so to speak. So I'm glad you guys approve of the jerseys. I'm glad you like that. The second thing is, I put something, for those of you that don't know, above the VV shout box, I put something to, I had a conversation with Jason Tugman from I Heart eSports, who, I don't think I'm leaking anything when I say this, they're actually rebranding to basically be called the Meta Factory. And when he releases that, I think it's going to be really cool stuff. I don't want to talk about what that is, but in the course of talking to Jason Tugman, he really sort of reinforced something Kim Ram had said to me and these other things about VV Gaming as a talent factory. And he sort of came up with this idea, skills for esports, skills for life. And, I work in the talent and learning and development corporate world by my day job. Let's start to merge these closer together. Plus, VVV needs a way to grow. And as I say all the time, yes, it would be great if one of our players broke into in StarCraft, for example, they could accomplish what CDjr accomplished. But even if we did that, we still need to look at other areas of growth. So we want to start developing talent pipelines for professionals, for those who could work in esports as casters, analysts, other things like that. So there is if you go to our forums of the shout box, there's a link that says the Talent Factory, skills for esports, skills for life. It's also been something I've tweeted about, basically getting a lot of people to comment on whether or not we are uniquely situated to do that. And in a funny way, a lot of people have said yes, and a lot of people started scrambling, saying, we're going to do it too. There was a LinkedIn thing about, would you pay for professional development? And I kind of chuckled going, I'm pretty sure I know where that person got that idea. But yeah, I think we're in a really unique situation to do that. And, we're going to go after those things. So that's the second thing. So first donation drive, then that. And then I want to remind everybody also, just really clearly, right? Do not forget that there is the spring arena is coming up, right, for StarCraft. And the VV 2012 code is still good for those of you who have not bought your season's pass. So get out there, get it. We're going to have our sort of virtual barcraft on our Mumble for that weekend. So again, if you haven't gotten a season pass, which is actually a really good deal, and I suspect, knowing MLG, the way they rewarded gold members, if they expand what their season pass is going to include, you might as well get one now. And if you do, I ask you use that VV 2012 sort of code. So again, three things: donation drive, talent factory, and that. Also, on VV Gaming News, we also took the time to sort of reintroduce ourselves on Team Liquid. I had a lot of people been bugging me saying, Lord Jareth, you've never really done a formal Team Liquid intro. And I was like, well, I kept saying, now it's too late, now it's too late. People don't really want to hear that. But then somebody said, it could look pretty arrogant, or maybe that's why some people don't know a lot about VVV, et cetera, et cetera. So we decided, we might as well sort of go on to Team Liquid and tell everybody who we are. So if you're in the StarCraft 2 forums on Team Liquid, you'll see an official sort of VV Gaming introduction thread. That was, that was something we decided to do to reintroduce ourselves to the StarCraft 2 community. They may know Glon, they may know Ruff, but they probably don't know a lot about the actual VV community as a whole. So we put that up there. Hopefully it's something that interests people, whatever the case may be, but that's out there. So that's all the sort of VVV gaming news out there.
Jerry, we've got probably at least a good another 15 minutes or so until CDjr is available. Do you want to take a call or two right now?
Yeah, I was really open to this. And another idea, why don't we get Kurt to call in? I mean, let's go to commercial and bring Kurt back in, because I think he can call in from his cell phone, and let's get that set up. So we're going to run a commercial, everybody.
Idea.
We're going to bring Kurt back in, and we certainly can have more than one person call in, so it doesn't prevent us from doing that, and then we'll go from there. So we're going to run that. We're going to get Kurt back on, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Be back in just a second, guys. All right, everybody, we are back, and we actually have Kurt back with us as well. Kurt, we actually had joked a little bit. We had said maybe you were about to release some news that you weren't supposed to, and you were being assassinated. Everything okay over there? You doing all right, buddy? Maybe he isn't. Look at him.
What?
There
What?
he is. There he is. All right.
There we
You were hiding. Look
You
at
can
that.
see that?
That was the dramatic pause.
You can hear me now, right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, I've been banned by MLG, and now my mic has been assassinated by MLG.
Can't believe it.
I blame this both on MLG.
All right, so welcome back to the show, Kurt. We got to get you a new microphone because that was bad from before. That was sad. But nevertheless, let's actually take a call or two while we're waiting for CDjr. This way we can get some new voices onto the show, get people to ask us a couple questions. All right? So what we're going to do for the first time ever is we're going to take calls. The way this is going to work, my name on Skype is VVV Paradise. All you need to do is actually call me right now. We'll bring people into the call. We'll let you ask questions, give us discussion topics, even give us some feedback if you would like. So all you need to do is just go VVV Paradise on Skype, hit the call button, and I will be able to bring you into the Losers Bracket live right now. So now that you've actually heard this, feel free to call on in, and we will bring in anybody who's calling, and we'll let the floor be yours. So we will be taking...
In the meantime, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you fine, Kurt. Go ahead.
All right, yeah. So what I was talking about before, before I got assassinated there, is just as far as the Heart of the Swarm thing that you guys were talking about, I don't, like I said, I don't think there's going to be any kind of tournament per se from what we're hearing out of MLG Adam and a few speculations, but he did mention show matches, specifically Heart of the Swarm show matches for Saturday night, I think was the night he specifically said. So that should be interesting, especially if it's show matches with Brood War pros, maybe, or just NA pros. Any of them would be interesting.
All right. So there's actually an option apparently in Skype. I want to make sure I'm pulling this person into. We have a couple calls coming in, and I want to make sure that I'm getting them into our call. Because last time I did this, it actually allowed me to just pull them right into this. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure that we have this correct. Sorry to interrupt you, Kurt. I'm going to try this. Let's hope this works. All right. I actually think that did not work because I've got only you here. Oh my gosh, give me 1 second.
Roll.
No, I'm
hearing something in the background.
Yep, that was me on stream. I totally fail. Wow.
Well, there's always this rule about why we practice things, right?
Hey. I practiced this beforehand when I was with, what was it? Who was it I was with? Oh, Kenny. Yeah. Well, I'm going to bring him on in. I'm going to work on that. Kurt, Heart of the Swarm show matches. You were saying that that's actually going to be at MLG Anaheim. Um,
Yeah.
what- Okay, quick question about that while we're waiting, since I want to actually know about this as well. Um, do we know for a fact if it's going to be all units from Heart of the Swarm available, or is this only going to be like beta, or is this going to be the full version, like of the like all the units that they're creating?
We don't know yet. From what I gather, number one, the biggest things to note are that this is a version that's no one ever played before, so it's definitely not the version from BlizzCon. My guess, it's just a beta, one of the many betas. But at the same time, it's supposed to come out fairly soon, isn't it? It's already got a pre-order on Amazon, so it's not too far away. Isn't that right?
I believe it's.
I
believe it's
like
after
November or
Columbus.
something.
Or after Anaheim, I should say.
Yeah, it'll be after Anaheim, definitely. I think it's like November at the latest, or October or something like that. So it's not like too far away. So it's probably a beta that is fairly close to release, I guess would be the word. And that's just my guess. That's a complete guess, though. But we know it's a version that hasn't been played before, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of reason to believe it's not ready to go. You know what I'm saying?
And one of the things that interests me the most is one of the things they added in the Heart of the Swarm is Baneling burrow move. I have no idea how that's even going to work. That's going to be so overpowered, it's ridiculous. How is that even possible? That's rough, man. I don't quite get it. So that'll be interesting to see exactly how people are going to deal with that, because I don't know how people deal with banelings now.
Baneling bust with burrowed banelings burrowing them under the base. Oh no, that sounds like trouble. All right. So...
Yeah, that means like, figuratively they will be able to, without, if Terrans don't have a missile turret like at all times or something like that, some kind of detection, then like a shitload of banelings can just burrow and move completely into their base under their mineral line and just fuck shit up. That's going to be so overpowered.
All right. I think I actually clicked the wrong button before. So I'm going to do this one more time and make sure that this works. Keep your fingers crossed, gentlemen.
Oh.
I think we're just going to have to do it. I think I'm just going to have to bring him on in the other way, because for some reason it seems like, there was a different option before popping up where you could add people to the call, and it looks like I'm failing that hard, so I'm just going to invite them in the old-fashioned way and do it that way. So, we've got a bunch of people that have tried calling in. I'm just going to start adding them to our conversation so we can do it the old-fashioned way.
Let's invite one at a time, though, just to be safe, right?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to go down the line because the first person to call was...
I can't wait till we get our first troll.
Oh, I know, right?
Don't encourage them. Don't encourage them.
I'm excited for that.
So we've got actually going to be Jonathan Scarlett, who actually was just added. So we're going to call him right now, get him on to the losers bracket. And oh my gosh, the messages are coming in. Invite me, call me, call me. So
those are all trolls. They're all wanting to troll just because I said that now. Watch.
I know,
It'll
right?
be your fault, Bert. It'll be your fault.
Jonathan, are you there, sir?
First one down.
First one down. That's it,
First
man.
one down. DJ Wheat deals with shit all the time, man. It's fantastic.
I know. So Jonathan Scarlett, going. He's saying yo, but we don't hear his voice.
Oh, look at this. I have it on the screen. Make sure your equipment works before you call in. Oh.
Yeah, unlike my equipment.
I can't. Well, Kurt, you are a paragon of virtue. Look at you. going over the exact same rules that we had here for the
I'm a
callers.
sick nerd. I'm a sick nerd baller, right? I'm on my phone right now.
I just want you to know that it will go down in history now that Jonathan Scarlett was our first failed caller. Jonathan, that crown is all yours.
We have Dylan Medina,
People say
actually,
in the chat-
as the next
people say in
person.
the chat, Kurt did not fix his potato. Kurt is on his cell phone right now.
That's it. That's it. So we've got our next caller on the line, though, coming through. And that's Dylan Medina. And,
What's up?
Dude, oh my gosh, we actually have our first real legit caller into the losers bracket. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, dude. Just watching TSM face Epic.
I was correct with Solo Mid and Epic earlier then. Cool. Crazy
Yeah.
Beast, if I remember correctly from the forums, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So what's going on? What's on your mind, sir? You are the first person to call into the loser bracket that actually has their mic working. Tell me, what do you want to hear from us? You've got the floor.
I don't know. Jerry, why are you so against League of Legends? Is it just you have to be the one guy against it, or?
Did you listen to my show tonight?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just like talking about how Riot they lost a lot of money in season 1 and.
Wow, of all of what I said, you took that out. Oh, let me be clear here, Dylan. I said I've picked up a League of Legends team. I've said it's more popular than StarCraft. I've said it's the most important game in eSports. It's ahead of StarCraft. I've said that they have the spectator mode that will change eSports forever. I said that, look, these guys know what they're doing, and they finally are going to be able to capitalize on it. And out of all that, you ignored and said, dude, why did you pick on him for losing money the first year?
Okay. My bad.
No problem. I think though, Dylan, thank you for calling.
Guess what, Dylan? I think LOL sucks.
Oh yeah, that's why you were playing yesterday, right? And we carried you.
He trolled the hell out of me. I was totally playing League of Legends yesterday too.
Playing that quirky top, feeding like crazy. No,
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I'm so surprised that even today with the new sort of spectator mode coming out, laptop connected to my high definition television, we're just watching random matches, we're talking about all these features. I've given League of Legends a lot of love, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We probably will spend more money on League of Legends this year than we will on StarCraft.
The aspect that it's free to play also, that's like crazy. Anybody can pick it up and figure out what esports is about.
That's a fact. So have I now convinced you, Dylan, that any idea that I don't like League of Legends is completely false?
Yes.
Oh.
My bad.
I think he's lying to you. I think he hates it. I think he's a Dota 2 fanboy. You better watch out.
Dude, I didn't even play Dota 2. That's trash.
All right, we're gonna
Start.
Oh,
Don't start.
thank you for your call, Dylan. All right, so yes, Dylan comes in. Dylan says to us, Jerry, why do you hate League of Legends? And I think, wow, I'm glad he gave me that phone call to get a chance to straighten that up.
This is why we signed up for open calls right here, to get amazing people like Dylan.
Kurt, I think you're right. I think this is a really good idea because I'm learning. I'm learning that I can't say anything bad when I say something good, because then you'll only hear the one bad thing out of the 9 good things.
That's about right. All right, next caller, Jason.
We have Sebastian Whitler, who is actually Flozio from the forums, looking to call on in. So we're gonna connect to him real quick. Let him take the floor.
Outstanding. Sebastian, are you there?
Hey, what's up?
Welcome to the Losers Bracket, Sebastian. How are you?
Very good. How are you, Jerry?
I'm good. Please, no, you're not going to tell me that you think I hate League of Legends too, are you?
Oh, absolutely not. But
All right, go ahead, Sebastian. What brings you on?
okay, I'd like to know: do you guys think that since the new PC titles, League of Legends, StarCraft, all these new stuff coming out, do you think consoles are dead? Like, do you think it's become a straight PC game now? It's just esports is transforming into just PC based consoles just completely out of the competition.
Good question. Kurt, you want to start or you want me to start?
Oh, I would love to troll this question, but I can't even do it. I can't even do it with a
Yes,
straight.
go. I'm gonna just hang up right now.
I can't even do it with a straight face. No. I don't think consoles are dead by any means. I mean, in the end, you look at the statistic, consoles are beating the shit out of every PC game known to man. I mean, there's still, at least let me rephrase that. At least pay console games and pay PC games. But that being said, I would say it's a little bit. I would say in the future you will see console titles, in my opinion, become a bigger thing than they are now. I think, and this is just my opinion, I think, at least I hope, that the console developers will start to realize that they can potentially make even more money than they're making now by doing some of these esports events and making their game sort of stick around throughout multiple years. I mean, for instance, with PC, you look at PC right now, for the most popular played PC games, some of them are still 10-year-old games, for instance, Counter-Strike. And it's because of the fact that it has a highly competitive scene and a highly, it's one of the reasons it had a highly competitive scene and a big pub scene as well. You look at PC for Call of Duty series, for instance. Call of Duty 4 is still one of the most popular played Call of Duty series on PC, rather than Modern Warfare 2 or, Black Ops 17 or, whatever the hell they're on now.
Well, how can you go wrong with COD 4 anyway? I mean, it's almost perfect.
Exactly. That's the whole point. But I think eventually you will see console companies start to realize that, hey, maybe we can make even more money by potentially just helping little bits with MLG and stuff like that. And I think people like the Black Ops developers, Treyarch, see that a little bit. So I think you'll see it even more in the future rather than it being dead.
Yeah.
I think for me the answer is a little bit. I'm going to come at this question a different way. I don't see the future of consoles remaining the same. Like, I question whether the DVD drive or the CD drive or the HD Blu-ray drive is really necessary anymore. I mean, I feel like the whole world's going to streaming media. So then the question starts to become, what is a console, right? What does that mean at the end of the day? Like, isn't it really just a kind of watered down PC anyway? Is there really any difference? And, what does it mean as we move forward? So you've got tablet PCs out there. You add, my tablet PC has a USB drive. I can connect a controller to it. I can connect a mouse to it. I can put it into its keyboard dock. I can play a lot of games on my tablet, on my Asus Prime, right? So I see the future changing. So I'm not so sure that is the question that we're going to be asking. Maybe the question more or less is mouse and keyboard versus controller, and what does that look like? So, I think right now there is a pretty thick line between console and PC, but in the future I think that line's going to get really blurred. And people are going to need cheap price points to get into gaming, and the consoles have always provided those cheap price points. So they are by no means dead. But as an esport, if esports keeps growing and more young people that are good at gaming are sort of making career goals and trying to be top players, you're going to need something that can be sustained. And to be honest, it is probably easier to coach a 19 or 20-year-old who's finished high school, maybe first or second year college, than it is a 14 or 15-year-old, just on the biology of their brain, just on the fact that the older person's more mature, things like that. So they're a lot easier to manage as a player. We see this in a lot of professional sports. Again, there are exceptions, but I would not categorize it as consoles are dead. I see the technology changing, and I think whatever we play on, as more and more people do this, we're going to need maturity, people that require less management, team consistency, et cetera, et cetera. That's what I see the future as. Does that answer it?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. But
Jason, did you? Well, go ahead, Sebastian.
What I see why I think consoles are dead is consoles just try so hard to just be, all this more stuff, all add-ons. And it just seems like all the PC titles are just so simplistic. They don't need any big changes to make them competitive. That's the problem we see with like consoles. With Halo, you have to change all these different settings to try and make competitive. Call of Duty, you have to ban all these weapons and just do all these things to it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to argue that that PC is better than console, I
didn't say that.
I would completely agree with you there, but but as far as console being dead, I don't think that necessarily means it's dead. I think that just simply means they're approaching, number one, a different crowd, and they think that they're completely different crowds, and they're not. Why would Black Ops 2 want to put everything, all the features lowered and all that stuff when the crowd that they wants more nukes? They want guard dogs and tasers and being able to throw Molotovs on people and shit like that. I mean, it just they want that, so
right.
They gotta go where their crowd's at. So, but I still don't think it's dead.
Right.
All right.
A good question, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Flozio. That was actually really cool. Thank you for stopping by on the losers bracket. And
no problem. Thanks a lot.
Oh, definitely, man. Thank you for being a part of our first time that we have people call in. And actually do believe we're going to move on to our next caller. So let me add them on into the call, and we will go from there.
I like taking calls.
This is actually a lot of fun. This is very different.
And this is where we get trolled now, because I said that.
Yep. Well,
oh, yeah,
I don't know.
Here it comes.
This person's Skype name is Argblarg. That could be a sign.
Could be a sign.
I don't know. But we're calling them into the call right now. And let's see what they have in store for us.
Argblarg, are you there?
It looks like the call is not connecting. Oh, he just messaged me on Skype that said, can I go after the next caller? I have something to do real quick. So...
By something to do, he means prepare his Rickroll. His Rickroll is not working. That's what it is.
I'm saying, right? But,
Now.
oh no. I don't know about this next caller. You are wanting...
If it's VVV Spike, don't answer.
How did you know?
Don't answer. Don't answer. No.
You wanted
Please
the
not
first
Spike.
troll. I mean,
Spike, you were in this.
Hi.
Oh no.
Hi.
Adam, VVV Spike, how are you tonight?
I'm of the goods.
You are of the good, sir. So welcome. It's nice to have you on the show. And for those that don't know, Adam, VVV Spike, he is probably... There are if you ever go to the Troll Academy, the Academy of Online Trolling, there's a Hall of Shame, as they call it, and Spike sits on that Hall of Shame for his contributions to internet trolling. So it's a pleasure. It's an honor almost to have someone of your trolling stature on the show. Welcome to the show, Spike.
Hey, this is my casting debut.
This is your this is your chance to tell everyone what's going on.
do you know what's
I'm
really
playing
funny?
League of Legends,
You know what's really
You
funny
are,
about this?
where I go write more introduction threads.
Oh my god. Yeah, Spike officially has a Minecraft sponsorship application in the VVV Gaming forums at the moment, and he's been bothering me every night of the losers bracket for at least the last month about trying to become a co-host of the show. So, Spike, I'm going to turn the question on you right now. What makes you tick? Why do you do this? Why do you do this, Spike?
Tick? What do you mean by tick? I don't have a tick.
See, this is what we love about Adam. No matter what you do, no matter what happens, he's that. So, Spike, let me ask you this. Do you have a legitimate question, or is this your way of saying hello?
This is my way of saying hello.
All right, Adam, thank you so much for coming on to the show. I appreciate it as always. You know, I really
Yeah,
do.
I'm glad my mic died again. That's all I'm
You
saying.
you are. That's what I love having him on, because he really is. He's you never know. Who else? Just bring them all on. I don't care who it is. Just we'll take them one at a time,
I'm saying
because now it's fun.
We're going one by one down the line. We've got.
I know we've got a John next.
We've got John next.
I've got a John next. That sounds great.
Is this an excuse?
No,
Oh, Johnny boy.
No, that's just what they used to call excuses in the old days of Smash Brothers, right?
A brawl, right? No Johns, right?
Hey, what's up, guys?
We have John. John, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Yeah, I'm John. I'm doing good, bro.
Very good. Awesome.
All right. So my question was about I'm a StarCraft 2 guy right now, but I used to play Quake, and I know Jerry loves Quake.
All right.
Yeah.
Jerry, Jerry loves Quake.
Yeah.
Jerry loves Quake.
I know. You love Slasher too, don't you, Jerry?
No, you know what? Actually, I think the story is that Slasher doesn't like me. He's never nice to me. He used to be nice, and then when I commented that on the MLG stream he wore that black suit, the first StarCraft 2 arena, it was like this. So he's trying hard, right? Because here's a guy who doesn't generally wear nice clothes. So he looked like his mom dressed him up, and I said he kind of actually, because it was all black. Like, black is one of those colors you shouldn't wear on, like, professional casts, like black and red. Black makes you look like the funeral red, too much color, right? So I kind of tweeted at him jokingly. I said, is it me or does Slasher look kind of like an alcoholic, kind of defrocked priest, right? If I had thrown a white collar on him, it looked just like a priest. And I don't know, him and DJ Wheat's going to get really upset at that. Of all the things to get mad at me for, that was the one I think that sent him over the edge. That, and I picked on Katz for wearing his rosary, which... he didn't seem to think that was nice either. So I don't know. They're not my fans. I don't think they like me. I don't know if I'm ever going to get any respect in esports because of that.
It's because you suck at Quake. That's what.
Probably.
Yeah, that's probably why. You can't rocket jump, so I mean, it's pretty much done.
All right, buddy. What's your question?
My question was about FPS games. Like, with Halo being out for Anaheim and maybe questionable for the rest of the season, and CS 1.6 kind of on its way out in Europe, Quake definitely done at this point. What do you guys see for FPS games in the future? I'm 19, by the way.
Good. Okay. Kurt, before you make... Now go ahead, Kurt. I'll let you go first, because Lord knows you're going to talk about Counter-Strike Go. So let's play.
Well, no, I think CSGO is like a pretty nice... I think it's a good game. I just don't know if Valve will support that over Dota 2. Like, that's it.
Here's my opinion, and I'm going to try to not base my opinion on rumors, because I've heard plenty of rumors floating around that Valve is looking to put money into CS:GO, and they are looking to hold a tournament, and they're talking to MLG specifically about CS:GO. We know that now. That's we at least know that, but what we don't know is whether that's actually going to go anywhere or not. And in the end, I don't even know, man. I'm not sure about MLG. I'm not even sure if MLG is the right place for CS:GO. I love MLG, and I think they could do it right. I think they can do any game right. But I don't know if I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know if they just hate Counter-Strike or what. But
well, I think it's just because the North American scene kind of
and I can't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the best place anyway. But I mean, I would love to see it there. But
yeah.
That being said, to talk about some of the other games, about you mentioned Quake. I would say you're right about Quake. Quake is unfortunately dead.
I don't know. Too Good seems to be saying that it's on the rise a bit, but I don't think it'll ever get back where it was.
Well, the funny thing is you hear interesting statistics, and I want to say some of them.
Quake goes up and down, but.
Interesting statistics are. I mean, I'm not going to call Quake dead because I don't like to call any game dead.
Yeah.
But that being said, I mean, they held like small show matches. Too Good holds quite a few of them. I think weekly
Quake
or at least monthly. Yeah, that are really, really interesting and pull a decent crowd.
Yeah,
I mean, 2,000, 3,000 people.
Yeah, I think he got 5,000 in the last one.
Yeah, I mean, that's really awesome stuff. And also when they held it at DreamHack, they had a very, very, people loved watching it.
And there's
but
about
Counter-Strike, something that we haven't talked about, Jerry, but when Craig Levine was on the executives last week, an amazing interview. I suggest everybody go watch it. He actually said that statistically, Counter-Strike 1.6, or Counter-Strike in general, excuse me, so that's Counter-Strike sourcing, Counter-Strike 1.6, is bigger for ESEA this year than it has ever been, the registration numbers. It's bigger than any other year. They're putting out more money than they ever have, and it's actually doubled from the year prior.
in teams.
Interesting.
So, I mean,
Well, I mean,
That's cool.
just to throw this out there, right? That whole giant Counter-Strike community, the ideal situation for Counter-Strike is for Counter-Strike Go to be the one ring to sort of rule them all, right? That it unites everybody. We have a Counter-Strike team because they want to transition to Go, and we would support them in that endeavor. If Go does do well, we want to continue to support it. And I do agree with what Kurt just said. I'm not so sure MLG is the place for Counter-Strike. Not that they wouldn't do a good job, not for any of those reasons, but I do kind of feel like ESEA, Craig Levine has been there since the beginning. And I think Craig does a phenomenal job at what he does. And I think that's a perfectly good home for Counter-Strike, for Go. And talk about first-person shooters, on the PC. There are two other things that I want to throw out there that really do have my attention. I don't know why. And Tribes is not a traditional first-person shooter. I get that. But those numbers keep coming back stronger and stronger. And I hate
Tribes is very Quake-like.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, that's a good thing, I think. That's in its favor. And I really feel like, Tribes is getting a lot of attention. And I think we got to be real careful that, I saw this with Crossfire. Thank God we got into Crossfire when we did. Our team got 2 trips to China out of it. One to China, one to Korea out of it. And that was really fantastic for us. So I think games like Tribes, we shouldn't write off. The other PC game, someone who I think is trying real hard to be an esport, I don't know if they're going to make it, Firefall Studios. Right? We're looking at, oh my God, the game just slipped my mind.
Firefall?
Firefall.
Yes, Firefall.
The game is Firefall, right?
No, the name of the studio.
Oh.
Well, I want to say Red something, but it does not coming to me. But anyway,
Red 5, is that right?
Yeah, I think Red 5. I think you're right. So anyway, I could probably Google it if I wasn't so lazy,
It's
right?
Red
But
5.
anyway,
Red
thank
5.
you. So the thing is about Firefall, right, is that they really want it to be an esport. I think they really need to fix their spectator mode. Like, I don't think they have one per se, but I mean, but I think they have the right idea. So those are kind of interesting. And yes, there is an MMO quality to it. So we really haven't seen that combination genre work. You could argue maybe a Planetfall 2 might work, but I don't know yet. So, I mean, those are interesting. And finally, when you look at first-person shooters, I think it's impossible to just ignore Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it's on the look, I am not saying that the 17th iteration of Vanilla Ice Cream, and now we have Vanilla
Call of Duty 9,
nuts,
number 1 esport.
right? But I'm just saying that you can't deny its popularity and that it does require some skill to play the game. So
I think to say that Call of Duty Black Ops 2 won't be on MLG would be stupid. I think MLG is looking for a reason to put it in the circuit, and they'll find it once it's back at Treyarch.
And I mean, look at the truth, right? Look at the developers. It's Activision, Blizzard. I mean, that's one company. I mean, you've got a lot of the relationships are already there. The communication lines are open. Blizzard gets esports. They certainly can make Activision get esports. Again, they're the same company. So I think it would be really, I'm seeing Call of Duty being something that really could be popular. But that doesn't mean, and this is again why the more I watch this whole unfold, the more I'm like, so many of these games need their own league just so that they can survive and do well. Like, I think somebody should pick up Tribes. Oh, pardon me. I mean, I know it's on Nazzle. Nazzle has Tribes. I think somebody should pick up Firefall and give it a shot somewhere. But as far as what I believe would be the most popular at MLG, I think it would be a toss-up between Call of Duty by far, because that's a hungry community. And then if Valve invests, I think Counter-Strike Go is almost a no-brainer. If the core Counter-Strike 1.6 and Source communities follow, you look at the numbers.
Yeah, in the end,
alone.
to talk quickly about CS:GO as far as the numbers for the community, and I think we're going to take another caller, but the numbers in the sense of CS:GO and the community, people talk about merging the communities and getting things together and stuff like that. In the end,
the teams will go where the money is, plain and simple. Like they have said that time and time again. Even the top players in some of the top players in Europe, which by the way, very few have come out and said this, but there have been a few that have said that they hate CS:GO the way it is now. They don't like it. So it's not 1.6. It's not their baby to them. So they're not up for it.
Well, that's what they said when Source came out too.
Exactly. But even even the people that are diehard against it, they say, well, if the money's there, we'll go there. And in the end, that's all you can ask for, in the sense of, if we can get something to where MLG's got it going, or let's say MLG or IPL, if they just take a chance with it and do it a few times, it'll be something where it'll just spiral, man. I'm telling you, that's my opinion. Because in the end, people are looking for an excuse for a new game. It's like I told you. That's why you see people. I play often CS:GO beta with Sir Scoots on his stream.
Yeah, I watched you guys a few times. You were kicking his ass a few days ago.
I'm a baller in that game, man, which means it's got to be broken, because I was awful at 6.
It's good to know you're better at that than League of Legends the other night when we were playing together. Jesus Christ.
Talking shit. But no, but the thing about that, it was really interesting seeing all these Team Liquid kids who I've never seen before saying, yeah, where'd I get my start? I got my start in 1.6. I would love to, play CS again, and you hear that a lot. You hear it a lot. So I'm excited. Hopefully Valve doesn't fuck it up. That's all I can say.
All right, we got to move on to the next caller because
all right. Have a good night. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, see you guys.
Thank you, John. All right, we have one last caller. We're going to try to bring him back in because we had told him before we were going to let him ask his question, and then CDjr is standing by to be brought on to the show. So let's bring on Argblarg one more time so he can ask his question, and then we shall move on to CDjr right after this call.
So now we want to see if we have the Argblarg there.
Yeah, let's hope this is a legit question, right? With the name like Argblarg, that's the thing that really gets me. Hello.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Welcome to Losers Bracket.
Hey, I have a question about FPS games in North America. I was thinking about, like Quake and Warsaw. I was thinking about, like, making a community, like, modeling it off of the fighting game community for 1v1 FPS games. You know how the fighting game community like puts all those games into like one event? I was thinking about doing that for the FPS 1v1 scene, like putting Quake Live, Warsaw, Unreal Tournament in one event, and then you have a player like Rafa who'll be playing in all 3 games. I was thinking about like maybe that would kind of like hype up the scene, maybe like repopulate it.
I think Arg, you got an interesting idea. Here's why I think that's interesting. We know Quake is decreasing, but it's not done, and it's an interesting. I like the way you're thinking. I don't know if it would work. I don't honestly know. But if I were a fan of 1v1 FPS games like Quake and others, like the ones you mentioned, and I was saying, you know what, I think there's still a lot of energy left in this community. There's certainly still a lot of talent. What model could we use for our events that would draw more people in and make the event legitimate? Putting all of them together, new ones as well, that might not be a bad way to go. So I don't think on the surface of just hearing that idea that it's necessarily a bad idea. Because as I just said to the last caller, having more events, more something is not a bad idea for games that may not get the front and center of a Major League Gaming or an IPL, but I'm not necessarily opposed to the idea. I don't think it's a horrible one. Kurt, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think it's a bad idea, but I think the biggest thing is in my opinion, what Quake needs more than that, and by that I mean the 1v1 FPS scene needs more than that, is it needs that particular game to be added to some of these smaller tournaments. Some of these grassroots tournaments. So it doesn't necessarily need a tournament that is all 3 games or 4 games. I'm familiar with Warsaw, but Warsaw was never like crazy popular in North America either. It had Cal for a few seasons, if I remember right, but it wasn't like, wildly big. but what in my opinion, what it would need more than that is something like for Quake to be added to things like Devastation and some of the fighting game events that tend to go out into other communities like Devastation and stuff like that, rather than its own sort of event with multiple games. I think that would do a lot more good than anything, in my opinion.
Okay.
But either way, it is a cool idea.
Yeah, and my other question is, do you think MLG would ever give like a PC FPS game a chance on the circuit? I mean, they dumped so much money into the console scene. I think the PC FPS games need like at least one chance on the MLG circuit. And
I think that's an interesting question. I'm gonna take this first, Jerry, if you don't mind, because I want to believe that MLG is completely okay with it as long as they're getting, what they're supposed to be, and of course the game's good enough, the community's big enough, stuff like that, and of course they're getting the money to help run it. But I also think there's some other reasons, and Jerry, maybe you can enlighten me on those other reasons. I mean, other than cost, do you think there's an image that they aren't necessarily wanting to portray with PC FPS games? Do you think they want to find the console players more than the FPS players on PC for any particular reason? The only reason I ask that is it makes me wonder things, for instance, like why you would buy Gottfrag during one of its best times, which is a known Counter-Strike, one of the biggest Counter-Strike sites in the world, and they never added Counter-Strike to any circuit for MLG.
Yeah, I don't think they. So first off, no, I don't believe in any way they're against that or it's not good for their image. I think there's probably two things at play. The Call of Duty numbers are so overwhelmingly ridiculous on the console side that if I can get the MLG name brand out in front of 14 and 15-year-olds, that's really important, right? And sadly, the majority of the PC FPS community is slightly aged compared to the Call of Duty community. So I can get my Major League Gaming brand out in front of 14-year-olds before they ever hear of any potential competitor because we have Call of Duty there. So in that way, I feel like it's important MLG to hit younger audience. Do I think that if Valve gave them the right offer that they would say no to Go for other reasons? No, I do not. I think if Valve made the right offer, they would take Counter-Strike Go and they would find room for it and they would do it well. That's at least my thought.
Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of curious about it as well.
All right, Arg. Thank you so much for calling in.
all right, thank you for having me, guys.
All right, take care.
it easy.
Have a good night. Take care. Yeah, I kind of like that idea, caller.
Not a single troll. You guys disappoint me.
I'm not complaining.
But we should have expected that. I knew exactly what was going to happen as soon as I said, "Oh God, he's calling in." But I like that. It was actually quite refreshing because we had voices we don't hear from. I don't know. I think we should do that some more. I think we need to do that more often. That was good.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, we should try to set aside some time for it every week, and I think that's what we're going to do, barring big weeks. For instance, like if we have an interview with David Ting or Sundance or something like that. I think we need to bar time for it, most definitely.
Well, speaking of making time, we're actually going to be closing up to the end of the show. After this next guest, we got to make time for him. We got to get him in here. CDjr. We're pulling him on into the losers bracket right now. So let's get the man who won the Mortal Kombat 9 Spring Arena into the chat.
Hello?
There is the man right there. CDjr, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Can you guys hear me?
How you doing?
I'm good.
You should be good. You are king of the hill still. So, I want to get right to it. I really do because
all right.
I think that the finals may have been some of the most exciting Mortal Kombat I have ever seen. I'm watching you two on camera sort of, You were both really aware how tight that match was.
Yes.
I want to hear it from you. That was what good fighting competition to me looks like. You tell me, was it as good as it looked to us?
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys what I told everyone there. That was the best match I have ever played in Mortal Kombat since the game came out. It was like the best set of matches I have ever played. I mean, me and Detroit go back since when he beat me at NEC, and since then we became friends. And I know how good he is, and I really didn't expect him to use Ermac, but he did. He totally surprised me, and we played one hell of a match. My favorite match.
Yeah, dude, that was just incredible to say the least. It was kind of a little bit of a disappointment to see that you and Rio had to end up playing each other in the semifinals. You know, as someone from VVV, that kind of hurt my heart a little bit. But I gotta tell you, what an exciting match. I told the story a little bit earlier, but my friends and I, all on the couch, watching you, cheering you on. I mean, we started on the couch. We ended up right next to the TV screen by the end of the match with you and Detroit Ball. And it was just cool because you could tell the camaraderie between the two of you. You know, you could see you two talking between the match. And it was just, honestly, the most exciting ending to a fighting game tournament that I've ever seen.
Yes, it was awesome.
So here's my big questions. First off, how did MLG treat you? Were they good to you?
Oh man, the MLG guys treated me super good. Like, you know, Chris, all of them. Man, I felt like I was at home. Really, they bought us food. We always had drinks. We had a lot of setups to play casuals. I had a lot of fun. The MLG guys treated the top 8 for Soul Calibur and Mortal Kombat really good. Everyone there left the place really, really happy.
I mean, once again, I think for a lot of the fighting game community that they're watching, they're looking. I know some Street Fighter players even showed up. We saw them interviewed on the Dr. Pepper stream, so it looked like, the word had spread a little bit. Other people were now trying to take a little bit closer look. So tell me a little bit about sort of what you guys did. So you arrived, when you got there, what it was like, what other players were saying maybe about their experience in Major League Gaming. I'd love to hear more about what that was like.
All right, I got one funny story. I mean, there was this Soul Calibur player. I forgot what his name was, but we were talking, and he was talking about eSports and the FGC or whatever. So he's like, man, I go to this Soul Calibur tournaments, and all right, I might win, I might place, but there's no arena. They don't fly me anywhere. I got top 8 at MLG Columbus, and then he said that when he got top 8 at MLG Columbus, there was like some event at Vegas. He went there for free, and then they flew him here for the arena, and he said it just like, they was like, what the hell are people talking about? Like, talking shit about esports. This is like the best thing that ever happened to fighting games. So that's like one interesting story that I got from the MLG arena.
So all in all, for you as a player, as someone you've been through so many fighting events,
yes.
Honestly, CDjr, you know the scene, you know the communities, you've been around this. Any honest complaints, anything they can do better? I mean, they would even be willing to. You gave a suggestion, they take it, but definitively, you've now been at a big MLG event, you've been at an arena. Any complaints? Anything they're getting wrong or they don't get?
Man, it's not gonna sound real, but like everything is just perfect, man. Everything they do, they run everything on time. Like everything's good. It's not a complaint really. It's just like something that I will like to see at Anaheim. It's just more matches on stream and like a little bit less commercials. Because the fans want to see more matches and stuff. But like that's my only complaint. But besides that, everything is perfect.
Now I don't know.
Shout outs to eSports, right?
Yeah,
shout
at
out
the end
to
of the interview.
eSports.
I liked that, by the way.
I know, right? Here's my other follow-up. I'll be honest, I watched a lot. I was telling everybody earlier, I know you were in the car to the gym, but don't be mad at me, but I was watching so much that we bought Soul Calibur 5 just to play it. And that doesn't mean I don't love Mortal Kombat, but we around here were also watching everything. And I started thinking about, the casters. I thought, and I wanted, do you guys as players, did you just talk to the casters a lot? Or did you hear the kind of feedback maybe after, or the people that were watching the stream? How do you think they did both there and from what you're hearing from the Mortal Kombat community?
Well, on Test Your Mind, the Mortal Kombat website, a lot of people, 99% of the people that were talking about the stream, they said that Tom Brady did an amazing job, that he was on point with everything when he was commentating. And then there were mixed opinions about Juicebox. Some people were saying that he was doing great. Some people were saying that he was going a little bit too crazy. And they were like mixed opinions. But my personal opinion, I think they both did great. They both did a great job. Juicebox and Tom Brady make a real good duo when it comes to commentary.
I had mentioned this earlier in the show. Did it bother? And I don't know if you could hear the commentary while you were playing at all. Did it bother you at all that that Juicebox was kind of rooting for Detroit in the final? Is that something that kind of shakes you at all? I mean, obviously not, because you still won. But
yeah,
how do you feel about that?
Well, I didn't hear anything because I was with my headphones on, but it wouldn't get me mad because, first of all, I'm friends with Juicebox, and he got a root for his friend. They're both from the Midwest, and there's nothing I can't get mad about that. It's just like if someone from VSM was playing from New York, I'm gonna root for them,
Right.
So that's totally fine. Yeah.
Right.
I have a question about some of the casting people, I guess. I'm not sure how you had much chance to hang out with them and stuff like that. But Gutex, Gutex is a fighting game community guy, which I'm sure you're very familiar with, and anybody that is in the fighting game community. But he's also not exactly known for the Mortal Kombat scene and stuff like that. He's more, a Street Fighter guy, I guess is the way to put it. How well do you think he did? I mean, I think he did amazing running the Dr. Pepper stream. But I'm also from, coming strictly from an outsider perspective. So,
well, I mean, I really don't know because I didn't see any of the footage of when Gutex was doing commentary or whatever. Because as soon as I got to the place, I was just practicing and the setups, playing casuals. Like I didn't really see or hear what he was doing. Like I don't know. Yeah.
I want to follow up with all the fans are going to want to know where you're going to go next. And I know where you're going next, but I think a lot of people want to hear what you got going on. So for the rest of May and for June, what's on CDjr's schedule? Where if people want to see you play and meet you, where should they go?
My next major tournament is going to be UFGT 8 in Chicago.
That's right.
I'm thinking about doing CEO in June.
Come on down.
And yes, and Toryuken in Canada, and then Evo, of course, and MLG Anaheim, of course.
Mm-hmm.
MLG Anaheim and Evo are the big ones that, of course, everybody knows. So the next one, then, if people are in the Chicago area, which I am in, and that is actually a major that counts for Evo as far as points, correct?
Yes, correct.
So a lot of great fighters will be there. I know you'll be there. Rio will be there. Romance will be there. So there's going to be a good amount of things. So we're going to run out of time here, CDjr. So I want to give you a chance to give any shout outs for this sort of weekend event, and let us. Can I ask
the last quick question?
Of course, Kirk. Go right ahead.
Just my last question. There's some speculation going on that MLG might be adding potentially Tekken Tag 2 for the MLG Fall Championships. I'm just kind of curious. Some people tend to play multiple games when they go to a tournament. Would you consider doing that for something like Tekken Tag 2? Have you ever played any of the Tekken series enough to be comfortable playing it and being comfortable playing both? Or would you just rather stick to Mortal Kombat, just one game for the Fall Championships?
I used to play Tekken 5 a lot. Then 6 came out, and they kind of like nerfed my character, which really got me pissed, so I stopped playing the game altogether. So I tried Tekken Tag 2, and it's a really good game, but I would rather play Soul Calibur 5.
Ooh,
which I'm starting to play again, And at Anaheim, I'm gonna compete in both Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur 5.
Awesome.
Nice.
I want to know the truth about this one too, CDjr, because I haven't met him yet in person. But here's my guess: true or false? VVV RTD from Atlanta, cool cat or not?
Definitely, man. Definitely.
He seems
really
like that.
super cool, very down to earth. And when he knew who I was, he went up to me and was like, "You play this game?" And I was like, "Not really, but I'm trying to like pick it up again." And it was like, "Man, like, you know, you should add me on live so we could practice together." I was like, "Wow, this guy's so cool."
That's awesome.
So yeah, hopefully I'll be practicing with him, you know, trying to get better before Anaheim, and I will be also practicing with one of the casters for the MLG Arena, Bibulus. He's also going to be training me.
Awesome.
In Soul Calibur 5. Yes.
In fact, look
Oh,
at that.
you made
He's in the
friends
chat
everywhere.
right now. Bibulus is in the chat right now, so shout out to him for tuning into the show. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know that I owe a website, the official RTD announcement. I don't know if you know CDjr, Esoteric, because the school got busy and I kind of had to step down, so we've been kind of scrambling to catch up. But I think now we're caught up and we're going to get them 8-Way Run. For those who don't know, 8-Way Run covers a lot of the Soul Calibur 5 news. Anybody in the fighting game community knows all about 8-Way Run, especially the Soul Calibur 5 players. But we're going to get out an official release so that they can get something up there to let them know about us picking up RTD. So yeah, I mean it's a great time, and
the fighting game world,
isn't it? Like, I mean,
yes,
really,
so
it's
happy.
a fantastic time. It makes me so happy to watch so many, especially to me, for Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur 5, who've kind of lived in the shadows, to really have their time. It's just always a great story.
Yeah, those games, they both deserve to be in the spotlight right now.
Awesome. CDjr, any shout-outs before we let you go?
Well, my first shout-out goes to Still Serious, because this is my first time. I actually just got the headset out of the box, the Siberia V2.
Oh.
Wow, man, this headset is great. I really have to say, this headset is like awesome.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. No more beats for you on the stage.
Oh no more. This is what I'll be. I mean, I didn't use them at the arena because they were still in the box, and I was like, man, I really don't want to use them. But I was like, all right, let me just just get them out the box today so I could use them in future tournaments, But yeah, these are the headsets that I will be using at every major tournament now. So yeah, shout out to Still Serious. Shout out to Valley Stream Monsters, all my friends, all my fans. Shout out to VVV, and just shout out to eSports, man. Again.
That's awesome.
We're doing a great job with Mortal Kombat.
CD, you got to keep me updated if you come down to CEO in Orlando. I mean, I'll probably be there because, hey, it's right like 15 minutes down the road from me. So Jabali always puts on a good time there. So look forward to seeing you when you come down here for that. Thank you so much for rushing home from the gym to hop on with us for a few minutes, talk about the arena. And I look forward to seeing how you do the rest of this season. I mean, Anaheim, I'll see you there as well. Evo's right around the corner. I heard that they just increased the prize pool for Evo by about, $20,000, I believe?
Oh, yes. Warner Brothers put $20,000 for the top 8.
That's incredible.
So good.
Mortal Kombat doing it big, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
We look forward to cheering you on there, my man. Thank you so much for taking some time out tonight and joining us, and we'll be talking to you again soon, my friend.
All right. Thank you guys for having me on the show, and talk to you guys later.
All right. Take care, man.
All right. Take care. Good night.
He's such a natural, isn't he?
He's so good.
He really is. He's just so... He's a good guy.
Very well-spoken guy. Very well, sounds like he's just got a really good heart, too. Really into this,
Yeah.
That's exactly what you need.
His interview at the arena with Slasher, what a great interview.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way that he was expressing himself, the smile, the legitimate happiness. I mean, he even said it during the interview, hey, last time I won $12,000, but this time, man, it was a lot more fun. And you could tell just from the way he looked. Oh,
well, cool. It's also just an easier experience. I mean, there was 8 players total for each game. Is that right?
Yep, and it was right in his hometown too. So that's even better.
So it's a lot easier. It's a lot more catered to the player there. So it's definitely understandable. one last thing about the arena before I think we're going to wrap it up is, just I said this before. I really thought Gutex and Tom Brady did a fantastic job. Really, really fantastic job. They weren't there for the MLG Columbus, but I really think they did a fantastic job for Arena. And Adam actually said on one of the Mortal Kombat shows this week that he went on that Tom Brady will be returning for MLG Anaheim. So that's awesome.
We're gonna have to cut you some slack, Kurt, because your mic had died and you had that sniper pointed at you or whatever earlier, and because we had totally talked about that. Can't believe you.
Oh,
we got to get
look
you a
at
new
me,
mic.
man. Look.
Now we'll get that all squared away before next week. But seeing that next week, I guess that's a good time to segue into the fact that we are going to wrap the show up. Really big shout out to everyone that called in tonight for the first time that we've done call-ins here on the show. We definitely want your feedback on that as well, because, hey, it's something we could continue doing in the future if you guys liked it. We want to have you guys as a part of the show because, hey, we do this for you guys. So let us know what you think. As always, our Twitters right at the bottom of our frames. Go ahead and tweet us some feedback. You can email me personally with any thoughts that you might have, paradise@vvv-gaming.com. Regular shout-outs. Let's give shout-outs to Control Freak, SteelSeries, Gamer Grub, our big sponsors. Thank you guys so much. And also the band Power Glove, who supplies the music that you hear each and every week. I heard some people, or I should say I read some people talking in the chat earlier about how much they were enjoying the music. That would be the band Power Glove. Go support them for supporting us. Additionally, just keep getting the word out there for us, guys. We really want to get more people tuning into the show live because, hey, the more people we have tuning in, the more people could call in. It's this great cycle that goes on, so let people know. Let people know what we're doing. Kurt, floor is yours, my man. Shout-outs before we head out?
Yes, shout out to I wanted to note really quickly because it's very important that we do this because it's been we've been left out of other shows before and it doesn't feel good. So I want to make sure that we reference the fact that what I'm talking about, MLG Adam was interviewed on the Wule show, which is at twitch.tv/Fearlease. So it's TheRleece. So go check them out. I'm not sure of the dates and times, but I'm sure we'll have it up on their channel. So check that out as well. Shout-outs for me. Once again, follow me at ENEKeyHunt on Twitter. It'll be a pretty busy week for us. Check Six has some stuff announcing. We're going to be announcing for Anaheim, potentially a meet and greet with some players, sort of like a Barcraft type event for Saturday night. We'll be giving away a ton of shirts and products and gear and all that fun stuff for Saturday night for people that will be in Anaheim. So that will be a ton of fun, and we'll have I'll release some information on that pretty soon. So.
Cool. Before we let Jerry do shout-outs, I mean, I don't think you really got the chance to say anything about this earlier, but big shout-out to you guys, Check Six. Sleep, he just did pretty decent at the event recently, right?
He did. I mean, he's done really well lately. In a bunch of things. He did yesterday. He actually won the SoCal Land Tournament number 3 for $1,500. Was the total prize there. So he's done really well there. He also won the CSN Rundown last night. So he's really been doing well. He also recently competed in the Arena qualifier, the invite-only qualifier for Arena. We know the results of that, but of course we can't, those are all hidden until they'll be shown. Yep. So everybody go check those results out when MLG will be casting those. I think they're casting those next week. So a lot of really great players, amazing matches, so be sure to check those out. MLG, I'm sure, will release info on that soon. So.
Yep. Got to give props where props is due. Good job there. Jerry, any shout-outs before we head out?
Too many. Shout out to my staff. All of you do a great job. Thank you so much. Shout out to the people who called in. Those were great, really good conversations. I'm convinced we're going to keep doing this. So thank you for your really good questions on the live call-ins. Another congratulations to CDjr, Rio, and RTD for their phenomenal performances this weekend. All three of them did a great job. Really, really, really happy with that. Our Guild Wars 2, we didn't talk much about that, but I want everybody to know that Guild Wars 2 beta was really, really good. If we get a breather next week, we'll probably save some room to kind of deconstruct what we learned from the Guild Wars 2 beta event. So those of you who are Guild Wars fans, we have not forgotten about it. So next week, May 8th, we think we might have some room to talk a little bit about Guild Wars 2. Outside of that, I also want to give a shout out to our League of Legends team, who has just been tearing it up and looks like they are going to MLG Anaheim. So there's a lot of good stuff going on. So, and finally, last but certainly not least, Kurt, again, congratulations to Check 6 and Sleep on their performance, validating what you always said. It is so important to have open qualifiers because you never know what talent is going to come out of open qualifiers. So that's fantastic. All right. I'm all good. Jason, take it away.
Yep, most definitely. One special shout out. I actually got a message from someone named Voided Alive. He's in here every single week in the chat. So shout out to him. It's actually going to be his birthday. So happy birthday to him. This is a special shout out. Thank you so much for your support, for tuning in every single week.
Yes, I want to add a very happy birthday to you. Very happy birthday.
Yep, most definitely. Guys, thank you again so much for tuning in. Like I said before, feedback. We're going to continue doing the live calls in the future, but I really want to know what you think, what we should add, because, hey, the show is your show. We do what we can for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, have a great weekend. Get some gaming in. If you play League of Legends, hit me up, because, man, I am so addicted to that game, and I want to be doing more with it, especially with this new spectator mode. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some casting done here on the VV Gaming channel soon. But in the meantime, have a great weekend. We will see you back here next week, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Just like always, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.